All right, well, a week from tonight, our neighbors at the Greenlight Bookstore just down the street will hold their next quarterly poetry salon. You're about to meet the salon's founder, curator, and host, a woman who has run or participated in writing workshops and poetry readings in venues ranging from colleges and theaters to teen centers, detention centers, and of course, bars, not to mention a few tattoo parlors in there. We're delighted to welcome Angel Nafis to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. So you're the poetry lady.
Oh, I am. That's what they call me. That's what they be saying.
You started a lot of stuff over here at Greenlight. It's a great bookstore, and you help them to get better.
Yes, I mean, they're excellent in and of their own entity. Greenlight Bookstore is like an incredible bookstore. I've worked at bookstores for the greater part of my adult life. So
really?
Yeah, this is like my
Girl.
spot. This is like my sweet spot.
Okay.
But the co-owners are really great and have been very supportive. And one of the co-owners, Jessica, she's actually also the events coordinator. So she sort of approached me about the possibility of doing something like that because she knew that my expertise was in poetry, and she wanted to have something specifically vibrant having to do with poetry in the store. So that was like back in 2011, and it's just been growing since then, and it's got quite a following.
Way to go, Jessica, promoting from within there.
Yeah.
So tell us about what informs your work. What is your take on poetry?
So you mean outside of the salon, just like the practice of poetry in
the
general?
actual practice of being a poet.
Yes.
2016 and beyond.
And beyond. Well, I think first and foremost, the practice of poetry at its best is like one that is an excavation of the self and like stories. So almost functioning almost as like a dividing up of the stories of your own self, your communities, where you come from, your lineage, your legacy. It kind of almost functions like a social science in some ways, I think. You know, like it's got like an autobiographical feel to it. You're kind of, you know, almost like archaeology. You're like digging up sort of your own stories.
Okay, that being said, what is the bridge between that 16-year-old person with the little notebooks scribbling in their room by themselves or on the back of the bus to like Lauryn Hill pouring her heart out into a genius album? And
well, I was one of those
poetry to music.
16-year-old nerds writing in the back of the bus.
I didn't say nerd, mind you. These are the poets.
Nerd
words.
for sure. Self-appointed for sure. Yeah, I think that it sort of starts with. I mean, I wasn't a very strong student in like my beginning years of high school. I think because I'm a huge reader. I've always been super avid. And then I think there's sort of like a trickle-off effect that happens when you hit high school. And the curriculum is sort of very institutionalized, and it's very sort of rigid. There's like a rigidity around the sort of canon that is very like supremacist in nature. And so I think what happens is that kids pull back because kids have a, I don't know, can I curse? No. Kids have like a...
You're a poet, use your words.
Kids have a BS detector.
Okay.
And it starts ringing off the minute you start sort of forcing other people's stories on them or narrative that isn't theirs. I think kids pull back and they want to tell their own stories. So I think that leads to the kid riding in the back of the bus, and you get strong with that. And that is a story that is so unique and personal to yourself, but it also speaks to the general public. That then if you get like a strength in craft, then you end up being sort of those, like as you say, Lauryn Hill or like Sonia Sanchez, who was here the other night. You start being So you start sort of getting in that practice.
So who are some of the authors who participate in your salon?
Well, we've had like tons and tons of folks. We've been very lucky and blessed with the folks. We've had like, you know, Patricia Smith, who's like, you know, the sort of legend. And you're talking about who's coming up, or are you talking about in the past?
Well, give me, you know, it's only an hour, sure.
Okay, so
some of the big
luckily,
names
Well, we've had Patricia Smith, we've had Willie Perdomo, we've had Jean Amber Lee, we've had tons of folks come through who are in the NYC community as a whole wide, and then also people traveling in. This next week, we've got some amazing authors coming in. We're really excited.
This is who we're looking at up there.
This is their you know, incredulously beautiful faces. We've got Jay Deshpande, we've got Natalie Diaz, we've got Tiffany Yannick, and we've got C.E. Bain. So we're very excited to have all four of these folks come in and like drop some incredible wisdom on the folks.
How do you pick them?
How do I pick them? So
who's in town? Come on by.
I mean, it's a mixture of things. So because, you know, first and foremost, we're a bookstore and we have like free events. You know, all of our events are free, so that's like why we're able to do these things. Is people come in and they buy so much book. There's so much support and love from the community. So we try to have authors come in who've got new collections coming out, like that there's a lot of buzz around that people are very excited about. And all of these authors have like newer books or are just like generally popular, beloved storytellers. So all 4 of these folks. So we pick it that way. So it's got to be like a newer collection or recent, you know, contemporary. And then our other thing is that we want our readers in the series to be as sort of like ever-changing, diverse, and vibrant as our actual poetry section is in the bookstore. If you go to a lot of bookstores in the city, you'll find it. It looks like, honestly, it looks like an AP English class, dead white dude sort of moratorium. And I mean, that's something that we pride ourselves on because our staff is so eclectic that we have. They're super with it. And so our section itself reads like the city.
Well,
and so we want our
those
salon
living poets and looking like the city. What are you going to do for us today?
I'm gonna read a poem. I have a series of poems that you know what odes are. Odes are like love letters to things. I have a series of odes to things I don't like, in an attempt to be optimistic. So I have this ode for y'all that I'm gonna read today. It's an ode to voicemail, which I really dislike. I like never check it.
All right, break us off.
This is
the ode to voicemail.
This is the ode to voicemail.
Go, Angel.
Ode to voicemail. You dark hand that reaches starch through hot wire to press against my neck. Sterile nurse that tells me how many days, weeks, months since my last visit to witness what in my unyielding buzz I have missed. Place I avoid, purgatory of all my familiars. I do not hate you, but want to know so completely who I am away from, or what part of myself I have left to collect dust. Your names are Debt Recovery, and Sally Mae, and hospital results, and are you on your way? Still, even the messages I don't want tell me who I am. Hi, Angel. Hello, Angel. Greetings, this is Miss Nafis. My name hugged up against a salutation. Your best gift, though, remains the way you pull my dad's voice, taut with eternity's hands. Forever I have the fruit. Salam alaikum, Nafis. Just check in on my littlest one. And 2, when he believes he's hung up or doesn't know he's called at all, the sounds of him, casual and kind. Is that a waiter he's talking to? A postal worker laughing and calling him sir? Praise infinity, the plain sounds of him living and living.
All right.
Yeah.
Angel Nafis.
That's that.
You
Thanks
can
for
call her
having
on
me.
her cell phone.
Come to the salon.
Or come to the salon.
Come to the salon. It's
more
free.
appropriately.
We have free wine, complimentary wine. We have cupcakes. There's going to be
shucky-ducky.
rad
What day?
authors. It's Wednesday, February 24th.
Okay, Wednesday, February
7:30 p.m.
24th at 7:30. We'll see you at Greenlight
See
Bookstore
you.
on Fulton
Come
Ave.
through.
Thank you so much
Thank you for
coming.
having me.